Hello, friends. I got thinking about these Activ shotgun shells I found in that box of stuff I got, and I did a little research on them because I didn't know a lot about them. I remember them, but I also remember some shells that were kind of like them. Charles Daly. They were made pretty much the same way. I don't know if Activ made those and then branded them for Charles Daly or Daly or however you say the name. Uh, I'm always bad with names, and you'll see that in a minute. But anyway, they're pretty interesting. The way they're all plastic, and then the way I understand it, inside here they got a little ring of steel. But anyway, these things were made in the 1970s to the 1990s by the Activ company in Kearneysville, West Virginia. I'm sure I messed that name up, so if you're from Kearneysville, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. But anyway, so I got to looking at some of the hulls I got. Now, supposedly these things were good for reloading. Uh, so now I don't know if these shells I got are factory new or they've been loaded once, because I was looking through the shells and then I got three examples here of the bunch that's over there. I pulled this one and the crimp is just horrible on this one, and I don't think that would have made it out of the factory unless they just had really terrible quality control. It's definitely something I'm not going to shoot. I'm not going to shoot any of them. I might shoot one of them just to see, just because sometimes I do things I shouldn't. But I'm going to set that one aside. Of these other two, I think this one is probably the closest to a factory crimp. It looks pretty good, but as you can see, when I put this other one up there, maybe this one's got a little couple of wonga spots in it right there. You can see that not quite crimped right, this little deal, but this is pretty even. So I don't know if they were once fired hulls had been reloaded or if they were factory shells or what. So all that being said, I'm going to take this one and we're going to cut into it and we're going to take a look at it a little bit. So, at what the inside of them looks like, the guts of a Activ shotgun shell from the 70s to 90s. Put it in my little cut them open tool. All right, now we've got it separated. All right. Set that over there. Now we got the powder charge inside there. We're going to take a look at that powder charge in a minute. Let's go ahead and get our scale here fired up. Got it set on grains. Let's go ahead and tear that out. And then let's put our powder in here. Not all the powder came out. It's still got a little chunk of it stuck in the bottom. So we're going to have to root around in there a little bit and break that up because it was cruddy over the years. Definitely got some moisture in there at some point. Might not get a good clean burn. And I don't know what kind of powder this is. It's all out of there now. But it looks like it was, whatever it was, is 18.4 grains of powder in that hull. And there is the inside of the hull. And the primer in there has got a little corrosion around it, as you can see. So I don't know if that shell would even go off, but there it is. All right, so let's set him aside. Dump out our powder into our little deal there. Now then, we're going to take a look at some more of the components. So here's the wad. coming out of there. And that wad is pretty robust. I mean, it's pretty hard compared to some other wads like these clay birds. See how that's just, I can like squishy that a little bit for a clay bird. And on this one with the same amount of force, boy, I can't squishy that at all. So, but it's a good looking wad. Looks to be about a 1 ounce cup, because that's 1 ounce and 1/8 cup. So it's probably 1 ounce load. I didn't look on them. Yeah, that's what it says on the side of the hull. 3 1/4 gram, 1 ounce. Get rid of that. Now then, we'll take a look at the shot. And we'll take a look at the shot here. We'll pour him off into the... Shot's not bad looking. It's starting to get a little oxidation on it, but that'll be fine. I'll load and fire that. No big deal. Let's see how much is actually in there. Fire up the scale again. Is it timed out on me? Let's change it from, now shoot, ounce to ounces. Put that back in my hand there. Tear that out. Now then, put that in. See how close to a 1 ounce charge they got, or 1 ounce. 0.963. They got pretty close. Is there any hiding out in there? Oh, there's a couple hiding in there. Let's 966. Couple of hiding in the crimp. See? .984. Pretty dang close. 0.984 ounces. Just a couple of BB short, so they had pretty good load quality there, I think. Let's throw that in our collection cup there. Now then, let's cut into some of this stuff. It's a pretty thick case wall. I don't have any holes cut like that for something else to compare it with, but pretty good hull. Case thickness wise. Let's see about this base. Let's take a closer look at this base. Cut into it. Wow. Once we get to this point here, cutting in there, it gets really hard because, oh man, that is really thick plastic in that second phase. Oh, there's a second layer of plastic in there. Look here. Let's see. Grab this other tool over here real quick. And peel that back a little bit. So when you get to the hull base, it's got a double thickness of plastic there. So that's how they got away with that. And it's pretty doggone stout to crush it down. If I can. You can crush it, but it takes a little bit of work to do so. Oh, look here, I got this other hull. This is didn't think about these last night. So we can go ahead and compare those hull thicknesses. These are a good gun club hull. And you can see they're just as thick as a gun club hull. And whenever we go to crush a gun club with its metal base, it's quite a bit harder. I can't crush one, not with this tool, without maybe damaging the tool, so I'm not going to really hunk down on it. So yeah, traditional hull has a lot more strength in the base, but overall that wasn't a bad design. I don't know if it'd be any cheaper if anybody wanted to recreate that or not. Interesting. So let's take a look at the primer. This is one of these cases where maybe you shouldn't do what I'm doing. And I'm not going to be able to pop that out of there as easy as I thought, so I'm not even going to bother with it. But the primer is kind of cruddy on this one. I'm afraid to whack it any harder with something. You really need to press that out. But anyway, that's a little quick review of what's inside the Activ hulls. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a little long-winded and like all my stuff, not very polished. But there you have it. If you tuned in for something polished, this ain't it. Lots of weird stuff out there in the world. Get out there and enjoy it a little bit, and don't ever be afraid to dig in and do a little bit of your own investigation just for fun. Just be careful. Should have wore eye protection, all this other stuff. All the safety guys are going to jump on me now, but hey, I'm about to be 57 years old. I've lived a dangerous life. It ain't got me by now. It might not get me. And if it does get me, I've led a good life. So, y'all have fun out there.